All right, Marshall and James Madison. JMU, 3.5-point home favorites, 52.5 the total in this game. Of course, when it comes to the Sun Belt, there are Sun Belt championship ramifications here, especially when you look at the Sun Belt East, where it's Marshall and Georgia Southern. Marshall can clinch a spot in the Sun Belt championship game with a win over James Madison or a loss by Georgia Southern against App State. Georgia Southern clinches a spot with a win and a Marshall loss. So Marshall controls their own destiny. Marshall wins here. They're in the Sun Belt championship game. I actually think I want to take Marshall here plus 3.5. I like the way they continue to keep playing, quite honestly. They've been good. The Tulsa transfer quarterback, Braxton's been pretty solid for them lately. This has been arguably the best defense in the Sun Belt throughout the court. They've been a point spread machine, 9-1-1 against the spread. Great road win against Old Dominion last week, 42-35. And again, they have just been they've clearly established themselves as one of the top teams in the Sun Belt, which puts them in this position here to be able to get to the Sun Belt championship game with a win. The only concern is JMU on this home field. You know, they've been really weird. It's a weird team. On the road, they've laid some eggs. They've had some duds, James Madison, like at App State last week, at Georgia Southern, at UL Monroe, losing 3 road games as favorites here in Sun Belt play. But at home, they've been a different beast at times. You know, they've blown out Coastal. They've blown out Georgia Southern or Georgia State. They've had some 5-0 at home, undefeated. So not an easy place to win for Marshall in a game they got to have to guarantee they're in the Sun Belt championship game. But I just think they're the better team. I think they're the better defense, too, because James Madison has given up points. I like Barnett, but they have given up some points. 3.5, it's Marshall or pass for me. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, all of a sudden the defense is falling apart for JMU. And I think what you just touched on, what I was going through last night, is the fraudulent, because these shitty home team here at home. Ball State, Coastal, I mean, it's a good win, 39-7. But Southern Miss, Georgia State, I mean, what the? And then they've just been awful on the road. It's awful has been James Madison. But they do play better, you know, at that house. I mean, how can you go against this Marshall team? Like, I think the numbers not too far behind. The defense playing solid, and they're 9-1 ATS, 3 in the hook. I hate to go against James Madison, but they've just been up and down. I mean, what do you get? Probably better here, of course, but I lean Marshall here with the 3.5. I don't know if I bet this is again, I'm going to wait on a little bit, but I think at this number, I think it's tight.
Yeah, I agree. I'll probably get in on Marshall. I don't know how big a bet it's going to be because I admit the line reeks a little bit. Like with how good Marshall's been point spread cover, and you're getting 3 and the hook with them in this game where they need to win it to be in the Sun Belt championship game. We know there's teams that
they've covered everything too, Bavano. Like the last bad one was Ohio State way early when they lost 49-14. Yeah.
But still, I definitely lean Marshall still at 3.5. But again, must win doesn't equal will win. How many times have they win the game, you're in the Sun Belt championship game, and then they go on and they lose that game? It's very possible. And James Madison has been good at home. They're a good team. They've just been much better at home than on the road.